I'm curious, Tom or Sam, how much are people making on YouTube? Where's the money coming from? Is it all from those ads, the AdSense on YouTube? I think just giving people a glimpse behind the scenes with that stuff would be interesting.
People watch your videos. YouTube works with advertisers to place ads in those videos before it starts, in the middle, after. Every time someone watches, let's say 5 seconds, 10 seconds of that ad, you get a very tiny penny for providing that attention. The longer the video is, the more ads that can play, the more you can make from that same person that watched the video. So to bring it into reality, in advertising, everything is cost per CPM, cost per milli, cost for 1,000 views. As an advertiser, how much am I going to pay to show up in front of 1,000 people? So as a climbing creator, as a YouTuber, you'll get paid, I say anywhere between $3 and let's say $9 USD. So that's how much I would actually make for getting 1,000 views on that video. There's a lot of factors in terms of what keywords are in the title, how many mid-rolls you put in. But yeah, there's a lot of factors, but that's a rough guideline. So these channels that can pull in, let's say the bigger climb channels are somewhere between 500,000 and 1 million views. So we'll just not name names, but 1 million views, somewhere in that $3 to $9 grand.
So that's total views per month?
Yeah.
Across all their videos? So they would make $3,000 to $9,000 per month?
Yep, off 1 million views.
Gotcha.
And there's a few channels in that range, less than a handful, that hit about 1 million views a month.
Okay, so that's just from AdSense. And then what kind of potential is there for people that are actually reading ads for sponsors directly?
Those are somewhere in the $10 to up to $40 per 1,000 views. Now this is that same 1 million views. You get the AdSense, you get $10 to $40 CPM on top of that. This is what I'm talking about, that there's just a different level of business to be had. Because again, going back to the watch time, it's exponentially more than that connection to that person, that creator, that athlete is just exponentially higher than Instagram, than that TikTok 15-second video. So yeah, that's why those CPM rates are so much higher.
Yeah, that's interesting. Do you think, what do you think is the better move for brands as far as that goes?
I'd say that it would be, I think there's two sides to have for it. One is all the other parts that we talked about, the packaging equation of quality, production organization, large funnel, good thumbnails, etc. And then the other move, I think, for brands is to be a little bit more proactive in getting their brand or their product appearing within the content which occurs on YouTube. It still surprises me the number of people that are producing content really consistently, and there's hardly any brand collaboration with them. I don't even know why this is happening. It's mad, considering how active they are with supporting people who are producing lots of Instagram content, or mountain guides who are out there working with clients, or people that have blog pages. I think they're way overpaying on those, and I think they're massively underpaying and underseeing the value on YouTube.
Yeah, I think that's phase one for a lot of people. Because again, it's a little less, if we said there's one thing you need to do, you need to find and hire an editor, a videographer, someone to show up and your brand needs to show up every week. That's still a crazy step one. I think step one is working with the handful of people at the top. Don't have a ton of brand requests. Like climbing brands aren't showing up in that content as much as it should be. I'm baffled by the amount of people that are, say, the top 5 names don't all have an obvious, clear shoe brand or apparel or things that are just like, this is so natural to mention or to be aware of. This is my favorite shoe. People are so connected and spend time with these people. Their shoe recommendations, their apparel, the chalk they use, like the gear that they're protected by, makes a difference in people's decisions. It might, like, it's very silly to think it's not. And again, if you go back to watch time with people, brands are paying to show up for 5 seconds to these on Instagram versus paying to show up for 5 minutes. It's okay if you paid 5 times more, because you're getting 100x, like, again, watch time's too simplified, but that's the core concept here. It's just like,
Right.
it's kind of silly.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're right. I mean, it totally worked. I'm curious, Tom, you might be the best person to answer this. I certainly don't have any insight into this like professional climbing world the way that you do. Is it possible that those deals are kind of happening behind the scenes, or is that just totally getting missed by brands at this stage? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it is to some extent, and I can only really, I suppose, share what I've chatted to other professional athletes with on this topic, and then some of my own experiences. And I would say it definitely is in the radar of the brands, and they are starting to ask how they can be involved with YouTube content. As to contractual obligations, I'm not sure with some of the others. I haven't actually specifically asked them on those, but there is every possibility that there is, because I agree on some of my contracts, some degree of sort of YouTube proposal content that comes out through the year, but it's still a little more on a kind of almost like your classic athlete trip proposal or projects support that you'll put into the brand and say, I've got these 3 projects across the year. This is the outputs. This is what's involved. Would you like to support it? And I think that's the way that it's occurring at the moment still. But I haven't yet heard of an athlete being taken on and say, right, you're being paid $20,000 across the year, and now no longer am I putting 20 days into your contract a year that you have to turn up and you come to a trade fair, staff training, an event or whatever. You have 20 YouTube videos in a year, because they could totally swap that out. And I think, again, going back to this thing where they're overpaying and not putting the attention, for me as a brand, take out 20 days where the athlete's turning up to the trade fair or the event. I think if you could swap that out for 20 YouTube videos or even 10 YouTube videos, if they're a decent channel, probably 5 to 10 times the value, in my view, of what they're doing. They're just stuck in this old school method.
And just also think about from a business side, you can have links and tracking and code, and outside of like personal connection, that's great. But also you get just better metrics, numbers to know where the money's going. So it's like both sides, it's objectively, from my sense, it's better.